Hello, happy Wednesday. I'm here standing at my desk. I got one of those desk converters, so I have the same desk, but it's this topper. Whoops, I almost knocked her over. So now I can just zhuzh it up and put it back down, and it's been great. Now I can walk around, I can not sit all day. I still sit sometimes, but it's nice to have that option. It was $70 on Amazon, so if you want the link, I can send it to you. All right, happy Wednesday. How's everybody's week going so far? I just saw that somebody posted a picture of their meal with a question, which I haven't gotten the chance to answer yet. But as soon as we're done here, I'm going to go answer that question because I'm so happy and excited to see y'all's meals. So definitely keep doing that. If you make a yummy meal or you want to show us what you made, or if you have any questions, this is the space to do it. So do it. Take advantage. I asked yesterday what your Labor Day plans are because I wanted to do today's live video on healthy Labor Day holiday weekend tips. So I didn't get any responses, so I don't know what y'all have planned. Hopefully something fun, or yard work, or seeing family, doing neighborhood barbecues, whatever fun things you have planned. I hope you enjoy it and be safe. So let's get right into just a handful of my top tips to stay on track with your goals and still enjoy a holiday weekend. So starting with, first and foremost, I don't want you to skip meals. A lot of people have the mindset of, I'm going to skip breakfast to save up my calories so that later on in the day, I, can eat more. That completely backfires, because the reason why it backfires is because what happens when you skip a meal? What happens by the next meal? You're really super duper hungry and more likely to make a poor choice, more likely to overeat, more likely to eat really fast, and then get past the point of fullness and then maybe feel guilty and continue this kind of negative self-talk cycle. I don't want you to skip breakfast. So have a breakfast, have your normal first part of the day, have your balanced breakfast, drink your water, and then as the day goes on, hey Sarah, as the day goes on, you're not gonna be starving going into whatever festivities you have going on for the rest, for the weekend plans. So don't skip breakfast, because you're going to be setting yourself up to probably eat too much and probably feel kind of, overly full and maybe guilty about it. So don't skip breakfast. Make sure you get protein. That's the important piece. Get protein with breakfast so you feel satisfied going into the day. Okay, so tip number 1, don't skip breakfast, because you're more likely to overdo it later on. No matter how you think it's going to save calories, it's not. It's going to backfire. Number 2, hydrate. So this is this is what I'm always saying. However, if you plan to be outside, enjoying the last hurrah of summer, as Labor Day is often referred to as, or maybe not specifically that, but you know what I mean. Or if you're going to be out on the lake, or you're going to be in the backyard, whatever you're doing, and if you're going to be specifically outside, it's very important to stay hydrated, especially if you plan on drinking alcohol, because being outside, even more dehydrated, drinking alcohol, drinking less water, you're gonna set yourself up to get dehydrated, which is going to not only mess with your fluid status, your hydration, all of these important things in your body, but the next day, if you are drinking alcohol, you're gonna have a bad hangover. So drink water, and then, like I said, if you, and this applies even if you're not drinking alcohol. Okay, even if you're drinking whatever, tea and maybe soda or whatever else you're drinking, make sure you drink enough water. And I always recommend flip-flopping your special drink, whether that's an alcoholic beverages or if it's something else, with a glass of plain water. So as the afternoon or evening goes on, and make sure that whatever drink you have, flip-flop it with water. I even say that with clients, like if they're drinking a ton of coffee, okay, you can drink your coffee, but at least every other cup be water. So the same thing applies for the holiday weekend, okay? Now, if you can balance out your day with some movement, that would be great. If you expect to be hanging out and maybe eating some extra food, more indulgent food than normal, maybe indulging in some other beverages, we want to balance that out with moving your body. So if you can get a workout or a walk or a jog or a family hike or, any sort of extra movement in earlier in the day, that is going to be a really great way to get your body feeling good. You're going to be staying hydrated, you're fueled from breakfast, and then that way you can kind of enjoy the rest of your day without maybe feeling guilty for enjoying some of your other treats. Now, speaking of the other treats, whether this is dessert-like things or barbecue food-like things, whatever you're planning to do, I want you to enjoy the day. I don't want you to feel restricted. I don't want you to feel deprived. And I don't want you to tell yourself that you can't have it, because that is a restrictive mindset that's only going to perpetuate a yo-yo dieting cycle and not improve your relationship with food. So what I want you to do instead is to scope it out. If you're trying to make good choices, whether that's for fat loss or health reasons or just overall, feeling your best, what I want you to do is scope out the food, see what all there are, what all the options are, and decide, okay, what are my priorities here? What do I really want to have? And put, whatever those things are, but I want you to save at least, I want half of your plate to be nutritious food. So maybe you plan for half of your plate to be color, fruits and vegetables. And then the other half of the plate, you can have maybe you have a couple bites of all these different, fun foods or treat foods. But that way you still can fill up and feel full from the vegetables and the fruit and those nutritious foods, but you're still enjoying and trying all of the fun foods that you might want to on that day. All right, so let's recap. Tip number 1, don't skip breakfast. Tip number 2, stay hydrated, especially if you're going to be outside, especially if you're going to be drinking alcohol, specifically doing every other drink as water. Tip number 3, get some movement in. And maybe it's something fun and different that you don't normally do. Maybe that means you're if you're at the lake, maybe you go water skiing. I don't know. But get some movement in to help balance out the rest of the day. Tip number 4, scope out your fun foods and the foods that are available. Fill half your plate with fruits and vegetables so you can fill up and feel full, not feel deprived of, feeling full. But you're also able to then fill the second half of your plate with fun foods that you don't have to deprive yourself of. And then tip number 5, the last, kind of major tip I have for you is to not turn a weekend of indulgence or treats or whatever you're doing on Labor Day weekend into a whole week. So you can enjoy it. Maybe things get derailed a little bit. Maybe you go a little overboard. I don't want you to dwell on it, and I also don't want you to allow that to be an excuse to say, well, screw it, I'm just going to enjoy the rest of the week and I'll start over next week. No, we're going to enjoy the weekend and then get right back to your normal routine that makes your body feel your best. So also, I would recommend doing a little mental run through or even write a list down of the habits and the behaviors that help you be the most successful, and what can you do before the weekend's over, whether this is on Monday or Sunday or whatever, to get you back on track for the next week. So is that going to the grocery store? Is that doing some meal prep? Is that looking at your calendar and scheduling in these things and workouts and those sorts of things? So at the end of the weekend, so that you can get yourself right back on track, then I recommend doing that like rundown, write down your success, your tasks needed for success, and pick 1 or 2 things to do before the weekend is over so that you're not going into a new week feeling overwhelmed and then, perhaps more likely to continue this, kind of indulgent time extended more than it needs to go. Does that make sense? I kind of rambled a little bit, but I hope you follow. If you didn't follow, just let me know and I can try to summarize again. So those are my 5 main tips, you guys. I wanted to keep today simple and straight to the point because I'm sure everybody's busy. I'm sure everybody has a million things going on. Perhaps you're already getting geared up to go out of town or have family come in or gearing up for a big weekend of house projects or whatever you've got going on. So I wanted to give you those 5 straight to the point tips for this holiday weekend so that you can continue seeing success and continue along your journey towards health, fat loss, whatever other goals you've got. And I hope that you have the best time. Stay safe, and I will see you guys next week. If you have any specific topics you want to learn about, let me know. And I will be sure to put it on the schedule and have a live video about it. So, until next time, have a great rest of your week.